Good day, everybody. Terry Lee Harrison here with another edition of Let's Talk Networking. As you know, I am passionate about helping coaches, consultants, and solopreneurs be able to network in the most dynamic and lucrative way. I am joined today by two amazing sales professionals. Our theme of our talk today is sales is easy when you know how. So help me welcome Ian Parker and Ashleigh Alsadie. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi, Terry Lee. Hi, Ashley. How are we?
Yes, we're fabulous. Like the only thing that could make this better is if we were all in person, just hanging out, having a good time in person. That's the only thing that could possibly make this better. So Ashleigh and Ian are my neighbors, meaning, well, as close to being neighbors as you can be, sort of, in a way. They're on the same side of the world as me. How about that? That? A hop, skip, and a jump, maybe an 8-hour flight. I don't know, but that's my neighbors. That's what I call them. So I'm so delighted to have both of you here today and just to be talking about sales because why I'm going to introduce you a little bit more formally, but let's just chat a quick second about why in the world do people struggle so much with the concept of selling? Why do you think that is? Ashleigh, why don't we get a quick answer from you and then we'll go to Ian. What is people's issue?
Look, I mean, many of you know me as the cold calling queen, or if they don't, Tirali, I'm known as the cold calling queen. So I can kind of speak from that angle that I have made a career out of doing the thing that most people avoid, especially in sales, which is all that grunt sales work, all the cold calling, the direct marketing. And if someone were to ask me, well, why do people struggle with this so much? Why do they fear it so much? And a big part of it is mindset, because I think a lot of them think that if they're going to be on the phone, pitching their service, that it's going to come across really salesy, almost like that, cheap used car salesman or the insurance broker that's kind of creating buyer's remorse. But I guess the good news is I think if you have a great sales trainer, if you can create a great approach and just focus on having genuine conversations with people who really require your services, it's not salesy at all. In fact, you are simply helping people. So I would say mindset is my answer to your question, Shirley.
Now, Ian, it's no fun to go second. It's no fun to go second. But to you, and I'm sure you say yes, that you agree. But what else might you like to add when it comes to what is people's issue with sales?
Yeah, look, I agree with Ashley, so we'll leave it at that. But no. On a serious note, look, I believe it is mindset, 100%. But it's also which relates to their confidence. So if they don't have the confidence, they won't do it. So, and the only way they can get the confidence is have the skills. And the only way they get the skills is be taught the skills. So if they've got the skills, that gives them the confidence to go out there and become unstoppable. The problem is a lot of business owners don't give their salespeople the skills, which means they don't have the confidence. And then, when they get into a selling situation, it's all about price, because that's the only thing they can sell on, because they don't have the ability and the confidence, and they haven't learnt the skills to do it. So I believe it certainly is mindset. It's also you got to learn the skills, which gives you the confidence. And it's also about never giving up. It's also about never wanting to stop learning and continue to learn and continue wanting to be better in yourself.
These are also good. So I never usually do this. We did that little teaser question, but I haven't really introduced you to our amazing crowd, to our tribe of people. So let me go ahead and do that. And now you already know that Ashleigh Alsadie is the cold calling queen, but that's okay. That's okay. She's also the founder and director of the Promo Donna. She's a sales coach at ashleighsalsadie.com. She's coming to us from the greater Melbourne area. And if you're listening into their accents, you may get a feeling that they're really no more neighbors than I'm neighbors with them, but yet we are all neighbors. So let me introduce you to Ian. So he's coming to us from Queensland area in Australia, and he is an online and on-site sales coaching and mentoring expert. He does sales training programs for sales managers. He is a business and automotive sales coach. That's one thing I totally know about Ian. He's an on-site full dealership performance analysis expert, and he's a motivational speaker. So when I talk about having the experts on with me today, I am not kidding. I'm not kidding, you guys. So let's take a minute and we'll take, let's focus on the cold calling with Ashleigh, and Ian can speak on some of the things he loves to speak in. But if the two of you each had like 2 tips you love to share with business owners within your expertise, what would they be? And let's go ahead and have Ashleigh give her 2 tips first, and then we'll head over to Ian. Because, I think that cold calling is something most people stay away from if they possibly can.
Yeah. Yes. And as I said to Shirley, you're spot on that, I've created a career out of doing something that most avoid or don't have time for. But look, I still believe, and I could be a bit biased here, but I still believe that it is one of the most powerful things to do in sales, cold calling, reaching out directly to your target market. And I actually saw something on LinkedIn the other day that said, 80% of people believe it's never going to die. So you've got to master this art. In terms of my top tips, Shirley, I would say the first, and I love this tip. I actually learnt this very early on in my sales career, and it changed the way I did things. So I learnt from someone that the person who talks the most is losing the sale. And I've always kept that in mind, because I think when you're on the phone, let's look at it from a cold calling perspective, everyone thinks they have to do all the talking as a salesperson, bombard people with information in order to sell, when it's actually the opposite that's true. So your role should just be to pick up the phone, do a very short pitch, and then ask great questions. So that's a top tip from me. And also, I would say the second tip is focus on the what's in it for them. So as well as not bombarding people with information, make sure that your pitch is all about how you're going to help them, not just a whole features and benefits on how great you are. Because at the end of the day, that's what they really care about, prospects.
Yep, so good. Some of these things are so simple yet so profound and so important that we are reminded when we're ready to hear it. And I think this is a journey that we're on as we all develop our sales skills as business owners, is learning, doing, and as Ian said, getting more confident, adjusting our mindset. So thank you for those. Ian, how about you? What's a couple amazing tips that you love to share with business owners?
Well, the number one thing in sales is you've got to sell yourself. Okay? Because people buy from humans, okay? Like, people buy from people they know, like, and trust. People spend more money with people they know, like, and trust. So you've got to learn how to sell yourself, and you've got to be yourself. So that's the number one thing you've got to do. And the other one is always ask one last question. So, and to do that, you've got to have the skills. You've got to know what would that one last question be. So, when the customer says, leave it with me, I want to think about it, I'll get back to you. The average salesperson says, okay, is it okay if I call you tomorrow or something? Like, you've got to know, how do I ask that one last question? And when the customer says, leave it with me, I want to think about it, and whether you're on the phone, as Ashleigh says, with cold calling or whatever, what they've done, they put a barrier up. And the barrier up is I need to get away from this because I just need to give it some thought. So the average salesperson says, well, what do you got to think about is one thing they'll ask you, or they'll say, well, I've ticked all the boxes, haven't I? Haven't I done everything you want me to do? So what have you got to think about? And that just puts that window up even thicker between you and the customer. So if you use empathy, permission, question, right, well, you go, hey, Terry Lee, I appreciate you want to think about this. This is a really big decision. So there's some empathy. Then you ask the customer, ask a question. So, Terry Lee, can I just ask you one more question? So now Terry Lee's not thinking about what we discussed. She's thinking about, what's his question going to be?
Yeah.
And because she said, yes, I can ask her the question, she's fully listening to what I'm about to say. So then we go, hey, Terry Lee, you've obviously got a reason for saying that. Do you mind if I ask what it is? Now, Terry Lee might tell you that she's not happy about the delivery date, the colour, the investment. I don't know. But at least we get to find out, and then we can get to work on it from there. So it's about selling yourself, and asking one last question. And, it's all the same. Well, there's no right or wrong answer in sales, because sales is really simple if you follow the steps.
Yes. Yes. You brought up something and I wanted to show you. So I was just guided recently about when it came to selling, and I made this, they said that when you're giving your presentation that people are going to buy your influence and they're going to buy into your energy. So this was right up by my camera on my computer, right? It's just exactly what you said, right? And to have fun and be you. Don't be all crazy. So, Oh my gosh, you guys, such brilliant pieces of information. So I am excited. I get to hang out with these two amazing professionals later in the week. And so I want to invite, if people are resonating with either one, if you'd like to contact either Ashleigh or Ian. Ashleigh, let's start with you. How do people contact you best? How do they get a hold of you? How would you love to hear from them?
Well, look, I am definitely on many platforms, but I tend to hang out a lot on LinkedIn and on Instagram as well. Just look me up, Ashleigh Alsadie. But you can also find me, as you mentioned, Tiralee, I do have two businesses. So the Promo Donna, so www.thepromodonna.com is a lead generation company that helps to create appointments for businesses all around Australia and some international as well. But also I have ashleighalsadie.com. So if you do have any questions, reach out. And I also love sharing a lot of fun sales content. So I'd love to connect with anyone on social media.
Okay. Listen, guys. I don't know if it's anywhere else, but Ashleigh's Instagram stories and stuff are real, hilarious and awesome. Okay, and then just as awesome. Okay, hilarious and insightful. Let's be clear. Okay. Okay, and then Ian's. They're going to go check it out now. But Ian also has some amazing content on social media too. His tips, his videos, all the things that he does. And so, Ian, if people are wanting to get a hold of you, how can they do that?
So you can find me, like Ashleigh, on all social media platforms. So my website is ianparkerinternational.com. And if they go on there, there's a heap of free stuff on there. You can download plenty of stuff and help yourself. You can also find me on LinkedIn, just at Ian Parker. Just Google up Ian Parker on LinkedIn and you'll find me on there. So, or you can send me an email at ian@ianparker.com.au.
Awesome. Listen, I appreciate you both so much. So our invitation for you all is, if you loved what they had to say, we want to invite you to our virtual team global gathering that's happening this Thursday, North America time, Friday for our Australian neighbors and friends. Thursday, it would be at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, which translates into Friday morning at 10 a.m. Melbourne, Sydney. I think I got that right. So for more information on that event, you can catch it live, catch the replay. We'll have an hour of global online networking followed by this amazing panel, including one other special guest that you'll see shortly here on my social media. Brian K. McNeil is going to be joining us as well. And so our whole theme is sales is easy if you know how. So come on in. We would love to introduce you to our tribe of business owners from around the world and just have you connect and do more and be more and find more success in your business. Because I know so many people have your calling, your expertise that you want to share to the world. And part of getting it to the world is your sales, everybody. So you can find more information at vteamgathering.com. Ian and Ashleigh, thanks for joining me today. It's been so great to see you. And I look forward to the pleasure of seeing you again just in a couple more days.
Thank you so much, Tiralee.
Thanks, Tiralee. Thanks, Ashleigh. It's been great.
Thanks, guys. As always, everyone, let's talk networking. Let's cheer each other on and help each other grow. So have a great